zoning requirements for residential properties here in Georgia. I'm gonna go over. Usually see a bunch of categories when you look at permits. They can look like a lot of different crazy numbers. We're gonna dive into them a little bit. I'm gonna go through them. Zone. That's a specific name. Doesn't really relevant. Just way to categorize it. District, which is more of just a general description. This is like single family residential. This is just naming. Minimum site area, which is different from minimum lot area. A minimum site area is more for larger development projects, not single family residential. It's unlikely to apply for that. But it is, though, minimum lot area is where we're going to start getting into what's going to affect you. This is the size of the lot required to build. This is going to be expressed in square feet or acres. So this is the size of the actual land has to be. So if it's a single family house, they'll say it must be, the lot must be, say, 3/4 of an acre, depending on where you're located. Maximum density. Woo! It's usually DUAC. Maximum density of dwelling units per acre. If you have more than one dwelling unit, this may apply. A dwelling unit is generally considered any building designed for permanent occupancy, generally determined by availability of plumbing, kitchen, bathroom, etc. So that's how many units you can have on your property. Dwelling units per acre. And yeah, if you had 2 dwelling units, if there's a 2.0 dwelling units, you could have one main house and then or you could have 2 technically. You're going to get into local zoning laws when you get to that, and potential for the not tiny houses, ADUs and tiny houses. But that's going to be all up to your locality. Try not to delve deep into that stuff. We've got minimum lot width. This is generally going to be the street frontage you need. It's going to be expressed in feet, usually, like 50 feet street frontage. A maximum lot coverage. This is how much lot is covered by impermeable surfaces, including all buildings, driveways, etc. Some driveways are not permeable surfaces, some are. That's a whole other topic. This is generally expressed in a percentage. Obviously in the suburbs or exurbs, this isn't going to be much of a problem, but in the city, sometimes it can be. Required open space. This generally won't be relevant unless you're in a townhouse or PUD type thing. But if you're doing that, that's not going to be relevant to you. Minimum setbacks. This is the minimum distance the front of the house needs to be from the street or front, rear, or side of the properties, expressed in feet. So you got to be a certain number of feet setback from the street. You got to be a certain amount of setback from the sides and from the rear. You can't have any property within those areas. What is a zero lot line on that topic? This is when the property comes right to the edge of the property. So more like townhouses and row houses, etc. Maximum floor area ratio. This is the percentage of interior livable floor area to lot area expressed as a percentage. And again, as long as this generally only comes up if you're in the city, if you're trying to build like a massive 4-story house on a tiny little lot, that's going to be where this comes into effect. Minimum required parking spaces. How many required? Obviously, this is the number of parking spaces you're required to have. On that topic, on a separate topic, what is a PUD? Often this comes up. A PUD is, I think I was at a planned, I don't have the planned user district. Going off that, hopefully that's right. It's anytime there's like a common area, you see a lot of smaller neighborhoods that don't have all these, they'll have smaller lots, but they'll have like a park in the area or something like that. That's a whole nother topic. But it's all just meant for general information, what to look out for. This is all specifically in Georgia. I assume all this stuff's going to be relative everywhere. That's what I know from investing and building and flipping and fixing houses in the Atlanta area, Georgia, and up in Virginia actually is pretty similar. So each locality is different, so consult them, your architect, the nice people at your permit office. They're usually they are people too. They have feelings. So this is Alan, it's investing in Georgia. If you have anything to add, anything I did wrong, anything you'd like to share to help anyone else below. So this is Alan, investing in Georgia. Tell me what you're investing in. Thank you.